What do you advise most optometrists when they're getting started out, say under 6, 7 years of practice? How should they be utilizing that money in a smart way, but also understand emotionally they want to not have to live exactly like a student now? What should they do with those dollars?
Living within your means, I know that's a cliche phrase. I don't want you to have to live on beans and rice and beans and live like no one else so later you can live like no one else type thing if you don't want to. Now, I have relationships that have done that where they haven't bought a house, they're renting a cheap apartment, and they are just getting intense, crazy, and paying down their student loan debt. Those are typically the exception, not the norm. It's a matter of living within your means and balancing so that your savings habits dictate your spending habits. A general rule of thumb to keep in mind when you're starting out is that you want to be saving on the low end 15% of your gross income. And kind of working up the ladder, for most people, you're probably going to look at, if you're working for a practice, a qualified retirement plan like a 401k or a simple IRA if they have it. You're going to look at Roth IRAs or traditional IRAs, which have some income limitations and things like that, which again is kind of beyond the scope of what we're talking about here today. But save as much as you can in tax-deferred vehicles to help that compounding rule of that compounding effect of your money. Albert Einstein said that one of the greatest wonders in the world, in addition to the natural wonders, is the rule of compounding interest and just how it works. And again, as I mentioned, you need two things. You need time and money. If you want to figure out how long it takes your money to double by investing, take the rate of return that you get on your investment, divide it into 72, and your answer is the number of years. So if you earn 9% on your investments, 9 into 72 is 8. You should expect your money to double every 8 years. If you're earning 10%, 7.2 years, right? If you're earning 20%, 3 point whatever, right? You can see where I'm going. Now, from a compliance standpoint, and I know this is being published, I'm not saying that any investment that you can get is 20% rate of return, right? Make sure that you understand what you're investing in. Make sure that you're working with someone to help educate you, whether it's someone like myself or there's online resources you can use. There's no shortage of information on how to invest, but save 15% of your income and let your savings habits dictate your spending habits. Because if you don't, again, two equations, time, it's very difficult to break those money habits down the road. So don't let lifestyle creep and the sense of feeling, I hate to use this word, and alienate a millennial generation, don't feel entitled, right? Don't feel that you're entitled to these things just because you went to school for 8 years.
I'm learning a lot here.
My grandparents lived by 3 very, very basic principles. Number 1, bust your butt. They use a different word, but I'll bust your butt, okay? Number 2, satisfy your debts in a timely and responsible manner, but let your savings habits dictate your spending habits. And number 3 was play hard, give back to your family, church, and community. The problem with most people is they live by 1, 3, 2. And a lot of optometrists. I have older optometrists that are in their 50s and 60s that live by 1, 3, 2. They've worked really, really hard. They've played really, really hard. They saved what they had left. No one has ever come to me and said, Adam, I have all this money left at the end of the month. What do I do with it? You never have that. And so if you work really hard, you save really hard, my grandparents said, now you have the privilege, you've earned the privilege of having nice things, living a good quality of life, enjoying your family, because you don't want to cannibalize tomorrow to enjoy today, because tomorrow will happen whether you like it or not, for most people, right?
And the savings side of it is an economic decision. It's not a tax decision. Your accountant can help you budget. Your accountant can help you look at the financial position that you're in order to help give somebody like Adam the ammunition he needs for you to be able to save, but it's not always a tax decision. Sometimes the tax doesn't drive it. Adam mentioned a Roth IRA. Roth IRA is not a tax deduction, but it may grow faster than an IRA that you get a tax deduction for today, because ultimately the Roth IRA money you get tax-free at the end. So think about it from an economic standpoint. Don't always think about it from a tax standpoint.
And that kind of goes back to the value of working with an advisor and finding someone that cares about you, that you trust, that you have a good relationship with. I tell clients I bring 2 things to the table: tough love and accountability. And so you tell me what goals you want to accomplish, we'll work together to meet those goals. And any good advisor is going to do the same thing. Always in your best interest, always making sure that the goals that you want are put before theirs. Set those goals, hold you accountable, and always tell you what you need to hear. It may not be what you want to hear. You may not be able to take that trip to Bora Bora just because you spend...
What do you mean?
I know, right? Sorry, Matt, didn't mean to burst a bubble there. But working with someone that can hold you accountable, give you the tough love because they know it's going to put you in a better situation down the road is really where an advisor can show their true worth.